If you are just starting out trying to create your own YouTube channel and you're trying to figure out what you should do, how you should set things up, this is a video for you. So I am going to be running you through and trying to do a deep dive on how I go through my mindset and setting things up. And these are some strategies that I picked up from some other people throughout the years. So obviously do your due diligence, maybe do a little more research and see, if you did a search for, top things to put on your YouTube video, that might help give you some different perspectives as well. But this is what I've been doing, and my channels continue to grow. I am not claiming at this point that I have like a huge following, but I have a really nice following so far that has continued to get me leads and sales continually. So you can mirror these same things when you're doing this as well. So I just did a video on the LiveGood E3 product. So I'm going to be going through and uploading that and showing you all of the steps. So once you're in your YouTube member area or whatever, your regular situation or however whatever you want to call it, I guess, your dashboard, you're going to go over and you're going to click create. And I went and clicked upload. So I'm going to select a file. And so what do I have to do is I got to go down and find the actual video here. So I'm going to go on my LiveGood folder and we got to go find it. And so let's see, I got to remember what I called it. So that's one of the key things just to start. And you may be writing down some notes, maybe take some pointers. One of the things that I recommend is that you have the title of your video be linked and actually have the keywords in it so that when that actually gets pulled into YouTube, like on the back end, YouTube is actually reading it, and that's part of like the keywords already. So instead of it just saying, video 1, video 2, video 3, video 4, then really YouTube has no way to like actually get you to see that video or get someone else to see that video if someone does a search on YouTube. And you got to remember, YouTube is one of the biggest search engines that's out there. And once you put your video up, basically people can find it, forever, unless something were to happen and you did something wrong or YouTube pulled it down and got flagged. So hopefully if you follow these steps and strategies, that won't be a problem. So if you take a look at this, we'll see if I can open this a little more. My title, when I made the video myself, I actually did it in a program that the same program we're doing this in is called Camtasia. There's other ones like Jing, and I believe even just if you have Microsoft or Apple, they have their own built-in movie makers. And so I have another one that I can play around with and edit and just add my own things into it as time goes on. But at the end, obviously, I need to be able to save it and have a file name. So notice right here, the E3 Energy Boost drink to ramp your afternoon up. So I want to have something that's related, and so basically the back end title has that. And notice I didn't even type anything in, but YouTube also reads it and pulls that same title in. So now my title and my file are actually the same exact name. And so what I do is I always copy that. Basically, I just highlight it, Control C, or I could, right click and do copy, and I'm going to paste it in there under my description. And so inside the description, it's going to start to pull, and you already see there's my face down there, there's the video, there's the E3. And so in the description, I want to put some details about what I actually talked about, because if I didn't mention anything and just said this is about E3, maybe there was something very specific that I mentioned in that video and I want people to be able to have it. For example, I mentioned things about where to find the actual product. I also mentioned, finding all the products, but also the opportunity that exists on there. And so those would be two totally different links. So I'm actually going to put that in my YouTube description. And, you want to give and use it like a call to action, like you normally would. So you're going to follow along right with me as I'm doing this live. And obviously you're watching it recorded, but I am doing this and we're just going to go through some of the thought process and you'll see what else I pull in and do to make my videos the way they are. Again, I don't claim to be the best one out there, but I think I've picked up a couple strategies that could help you over the year. So let's see, in this video, I share the awesome LiveGood E3 Energy Booster drink. This powder. Let's see, this powdered beverage has beta alanine. So right there, for example, on the label, I talked about in the video that beta alanine is something that can cause you to have like itchiness, or kind of like just feel like your face is a little, and your skin might be a little itchy or scratchy, or feel a little bit red and warm. And so that's something that maybe people are searching for. If they're doing a random search, like, what makes my, or why is my skin scratching or my skin itching after doing an energy drink, maybe they realize it's beta alanine, and then they can figure out, okay, well, maybe I need to either cut my dose in half, minimize it, or maybe not take that if I don't feel comfortable with that. So again, I want to be trying to try to be as forward as possible, and make sure I spelled it right there. And so beta alanine, and then there's a whole bunch of amino acids, so on and so forth. So this powdered beverage has beta alanine, may cause some skin irritation, along with amino acids. And then what else do we have here? A couple of key things that you want to talk about. So like I could say organic caffeine from tea. I apologize for my typing and the time that's going to take here. Let's see. Obviously, I could put in a whole bunch of other stuff. But part of the video is talking to people about going to the actual website and actually finding the details and being able to compare themselves. So I'm just going to, keep part of that brief again, just to give you some concepts. We could go real in depth, and, you can put as much as you want based on the time you have. If you notice, you have up to 5,000 characters that you can put, and I've only typed in 243. So in this video, I share the awesome E3 Energy Booster drink. This powdered beverage has beta alanine, along with amino acids, organic coffee, and many other great ingredients. As a member of LiveGood, you can get this at a wholesale price, or choose to be a customer only and pay retail. All right. To see all of the products LiveGood has. And again, I just want to keep this part brief, so I'm not spending like hours on this video here for you. Please go to, and this is where you're going to put your link in. Now, I have actually bought a domain on GoDaddy, and I forward. So we got HTTP, let's see, / certified health products.com. Now, your link, if we actually go, you're watching this and you're promoting and doing the same thing on LiveGood, you're going to go into your members area, you're going to click on where it says websites, and then you're going to pull your own thing. There's a couple different websites there, obviously. There's some for the shop, but there's also some for the tour. So in this scenario, you would want the ones for the shop that redirect. So when you actually take this link, so for example, I take that link and I test it in a new window, and I open it up, and notice it just redirects to livegood.com / my username. Okay. So that part, you would want to make sure again that you have all your links correct, that they're in the, in appropriate situations, and they're forwarding correctly. To learn more about the business side, let's see, to learn more about the business side of LiveGood, use this link instead. And then we're going to go here. I'm going to pull up, I think I had that one ready. Oops, that's not what I wanted. So this is a cool little feature here. I'm going to change this so these are together. Now, because that was the one you just saw previously. So I want to make sure they're tied together. The same thing. If people see stuff, and the website shows the same title at the top. And the cool thing about this with LiveGood, you can actually do some tracking. So inside your member area, if we are in there, if we go in and log in, so for example, we log in, go over and you click on statistics, and then you click on source statistics. And then what you see, if you scroll down, you'll actually see that after the source, you can add your own code. So after source equals, okay, you're going to put in your code. That way it tells you, so there we see source equals ABC. So when I go back to the video, I want to know if I get a new lead coming, I want to know where that lead came from. And this could be the same, whether it's LiveGood or some other program that you're doing. If you have tracking and the ability to track, then you know what type of video might have generated interest in a lead. Excuse me, and then you might start to make more of those types of videos. So I'm going to change this to YT for YouTube, and then I know it's YouTube, LG. Actually, I don't even need the LG because it would be in LG. I'm just going to call this E3 Energy Boost Drink. So we're going to do E3 Energy Boost. So now I know that any lead that comes or pre-enrolled member that comes into my inbox in my Gmail, it'll say, congratulations, Dave, so-and-so checked out your site, and took a look and registered or pre-enrolled. I can then go into my account. When you look at your referrals, you can actually see where they actually came from. And so if you click on, again, referrals, and if we scroll down to the most recent one, I'm going to do this one. So this is a generic one. This is one that I actually had that someone, like basically a bot or something, came in. So I actually changed it, and maybe you'll find another video of how to do that, or I can explain that later. But for example, if we click on this, if I scroll down, again, this is not a real address, but notice where it says source, it says the Join DG CF bridge page. So I have a different funnel where people come in and they opt in and they find out information. Then they go to the bridge page, which is a video of me talking about the opportunity. And there's a button below that clicks to go to the Join LiveGood page. So I tagged it like this. So the same thing, if someone comes in through this video on YouTube, what I would see on that page is just that end part. Then I would know that, okay, I got a lead from that video. That's good. Maybe I'll do more videos on other products because people are looking for specific products. And where it comes really important is this next part. And so the keywords, we're going to put the keywords in two different places. I'm going to kind of put it as just a mixed jumbled mess in here, but then we're actually going to put it in a specific location called tags later on. So a couple things already, just to kind of go back and review quickly. We have the E3 Energy Booster drink. We have a title that is descriptive. Now, in some cases, this could be called a long tail keyword, okay, because it is very long and it has many words to it. Instead, I could have just said E3. Okay, if I just typed in E3, hardly anyone would know what that is. But I also have the word energy boost and a drink in there, and then, ramp up your afternoon. So there's other ways you could label this. I could have said, feeling tired, drink this, or, the best drink to, get you energized for a workout. You could test things out and see what works. I could do a very similar video. Okay, not the same exact video. I don't want to mix it up, but I could do a similar video, maybe a short one or maybe a little bit longer one, and just test the different words that go with it. But you want to have something that is very descriptive. Here, obviously, bring it down. We want to be descriptive in our actual description, and you want to have a call to action. You always want to draw and bring people right back to where they need to go. And so one of the other links that I did want to share, and let me add this in here. Let's see, to see the details of the LiveGood. Oh, I did have a lowercase. Let's see, LiveGood E3 Energy Booster. For example, let's see, ingredients, product comparisons, certificates of analysis, testimonials, and more. use this link. So one of the other things that I have, we got to pull up the right file here. Oops, I just closed it out. Sorry about that. Give me 1 second. We will find, there it is. This is ready to go. So with LiveGood, if you click on any of the items inside the store, it will bring up a different link. And then at the end, like for example, it would look just like this. And I'm going to find, thought I had it highlighted, but I just closed it. So we're going to have to go back and find it. So what it would show you is basically this: livegood.com/E3. That's all it would show you, okay, if you actually went to the product. So if we go and click in that material, we go back to the shop, and from the shop, we scroll down and we find the E3. We click learn more. Notice at the top, it just says livegood.com/E3. So at the very end of E3 or any of the products, you can actually go and notice you can add question mark enroller equals, and then you have your enroller details. And so I'm going to tie this back in together, and we're going to make it again so that it's the same username and same connection, so they all get tagged together and similar. So that'll bring someone directly to the product. Maybe they don't care about all the other products, but they want to go directly to the product. So if I take that and do this, and just to show you that that will work, I'm going to log out of here, close it, and then open up a new window, and then we see that same link. If I click on that, notice it brings me right to the E3. Okay, so you have the ability to focus and put specific links onto each thing. And so, like I said, at the very end of the thing, like when you click that link and you see any product, so for example, if I was going to do, the creatine, it would only say livegood.com/creatine HMB. So that's what's there. You do not want to send people that link. Okay, don't send that link unless you've added this part right here at the very end. The question mark enroller equals. Okay, make sure you then have that with your own specific username so that you have the ability to be the one that's tagged to that. And so you want to have these tags throughout your description, because really they're little mini calls to action, and people might come in, buy that specific product from you. All right, so back to this. So again, I've got these points. Then now we want to talk about some overall keywords. And this is where I'm going to put just a whole bunch of stuff where I can easily copy and paste it and bring it down later. So we know the company, so that's important. So I'm going to do LiveGood, LiveGood E3, LiveGood Energy Booster. I'm going to do energy drink, E3 energy drink. How to get energy. Let's see, pre-workout. We could do amino acids, electrolyte drinks. Pretty much, if you look at the label and take a look at the ingredients, you can come up with some ideas of things that are in that. So we can do organic caffeine, caffeine, energy. We can just leave it as energy. So there's a little part down below. We can have up to 500 characters just for keywords. And so this is going to be part of my 5,000, but later in a separate part, we can have 500 as specific, or what they call tags. So I'm going to call them keywords here, but down below they're called tags. I'm just going to copy and paste this. So we have LiveGood, again, LiveGood E3, LiveGood Energy Booster, energy drink, E3 energy drink, just different ways to phrase it. Okay, so feeling how to not be tired, or not feel tired. Boosting your energy level, healthy energy drinks, drink, you might want to do both. Okay, you can test it all out. And what I'll often do is, I'll just kind of estimate with how much, which I think might be about 500 credits, and then I'll continue and I'll end my thing with one last major part that's going to be inside of this description, and then I'm going to go in and we're going to add it to another place again called the tags, and I'm going to come back and walk through a couple other things as well. So we come up with a couple more. again, we just look at this. So energy, endurance, electrolytes. We have, work, sport, play. We got the ultimate fuel for your body. So there's all these different things that you could put. This says healthy energy anytime. Let's see, I wrote healthy energy drink. How about just healthy energy? So we got lots of different options that we could have here. I may come back and add some more, but I just wanted to show you that you want to have some keywords that are actually in the description, even if it's just kind of a jumbled mess, because it kind of hints and talks about, things that I mentioned throughout the video. So we could talk about, again, I mentioned beta-alanine in the video. I mentioned the Live Good business opportunity. I can spell correctly. So again, you can keep going and going and going. Notice after every one I put a comma. Okay, it's crucial you do that, and it'll make sense in a minute because the system will automate it and recognize it right after that. So the next thing I do, this is usually where it could end, but what I do, and I got to see if one of them is open here. YouTube, here it is right here. All right, so I actually have something that I've made that I can easily copy and paste so that it's the same thing and ties me together in my own YouTube videos. So we're going to copy and paste this and we'll take a closer look at it in YouTube. So notice I'm already at 1100 characters. When I paste this, it's probably going to double in size because I have a pretty lengthy thing and I'm going to share with some of the materials I have in here. So Control V, notice we scroll down to the bottom. Notice I went to 30. I went up by 2,000 characters, okay, just with this information. So let's take a look at some of the things I actually have in here to give you ideas of what else you can put in here by yourself. So this is where I ended, okay? That was the keywords. But then I have other details that will connect me to all of my other videos and other things that I do, and also give them opportunities to find out other things maybe I'm involved in or other tools that I use to run my business. It's also links that go to other places like my blog. So as long as you have all these backlinks and connections, you start to possibly get better traction and better things that start to be shown. Maybe your recommended videos start to show up. So think about, like, when you finish the end of a video, there's usually things that pop up as recommended videos. If you have your things all connected and related, they will start to pull together and they may show you as a related video one of your other videos. So at the end of watching the video, then maybe one of your other videos shows up. And that could be really, really powerful. So I have a link to all my marketing and business tutorials. And what I've done, notice how the word playlist is right here. I've actually set up a series of playlists inside my YouTube. I have a specific set of videos that's all related directly to Live Good, and I always put them in my marketing and business tutorial. So my marketing and business tutorials is like this huge one that has all the stuff, but then the independent businesses or activities that are related, I can shrink them into smaller, succinct groups and share those, and I usually will tie them in at the end of the video too. You'll actually see me pull that in at the end of the video. So I have something about my blog. If you have your own blog, or maybe you want to have people connect with you, and you'll see this here in a minute, you want to give that detail or have that opportunity. The more places people have to connect with you, the better they are going to know, like, and trust you over time, maybe learn more about you and find out more what you have going on, and more likely to buy stuff from you. So I have come visit my blog. I also have grab my list building report on the simple ingredients needed to build your own list, listchemistry.com. Now, if you join me on my team, or if you join someone else that's on my team, I actually give this as a bonus. The report itself is free, but then I have a couple upsells that I give away as a free bonus lifetime access to my list chemistry courses, my basically traffic training, traffic reports, how to go through and build your own list using certain types of traffic, but also the important things to actually follow up with people over time so that those people keep opening your emails. So again, I'm trying to draw people into me. I have some social media, which is, I actually need to update this because I hardly ever use Twitter, but I really started using TikTok. So I'm actually going to swap this one out right now live. So we'll call this TikTok, and we got HTTPS. All right, so there I am on TikTok. I got my Instagram, I got my Facebook. Actually gonna do cut that. I'm going to move this down. We're going to call that there. Then I'm going to go back and actually change this over here too before I forget. So let's see. TikTok.com at Super Dave Gardner. Get rid of Twitter. I hardly ever use Twitter. And so notice they can follow me on TikTok. They can follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook. Or if you want to look to all my socials, I use Linktree, and then I have a whole bunch of other stuff there on Linktree where they can find out a lot of some of these similar things. Then I have a section here, resources and tools I use to run my business. Maybe you have something on the back end that you use to build your list. Maybe you have an email autoresponder. Maybe you have some other tool. Maybe you have a favorite training or course that you've learned from in order to, create people's attraction towards you. Or maybe you have a list building course, or you have a marketing course of the top 15 things to do on a daily basis to make sure your business runs appropriately. So I have my business tools. I got email autoresponder. I got data backup. I got free ad hosting, testimonial creation. I got web or blog hosting, marketing and team training. I got creating mass movements. I got staying fit and healthy, eating healthy, getting free vacations. Okay, so you can have all these different things if you want to tie them together. So I have these on every single one of my videos so that people can always find out a little bit more. Now, are people going to go through and probably read all of them? Likely not. Okay, but there may be the occasional person who does. The majority of them may not. Majority of them might only read, this first blurb right here at the bottom. And what you have to remember, definitely this is the one that's the most important, because that's what they might be searching or coming up in your search. And you have to remember, when you watch a video, usually you only see the first couple sentences anyways. And so in this video I share blah blah blah, which reminds me that's a point right there. I am going to actually move this one. And so we're going to take this one for the E3 Energy Booster. Actually, I'm going to move this one because it's shorter. I'm going to cut this one out, and I almost made a mistake here myself, because you want people to possibly see a link right in the beginning. So if I do this, so we got energy boost, how to ramp up your afternoon. We're going to call that a period, not a colon or semicolon. And then to see all the products of LiveGood, please go here. So I've put it so it's like in the first 2 lines. And what that means is that when people see that video and there's a description underneath, usually you only see 1 or 2 lines, and there's a button you got to click that says more, and that opens up the full description. So it may benefit you to have your link here, whether it's your link to join. You could just say, to learn more and join, pop that link right there in the beginning, because that way they're going to be able to see it right away without having to go down a little bit further. And maybe they just want to find out what's going on and not have to read all this other stuff you have in there. So continuing on, we talked about the tools. Next thing is this blurb here. Okay. And this is just kind of a joke. If you're religious and you're offended by it, I apologize. I don't mean anything personal. Just trying to make some connection. And so because there's this common sentence that's in there, and you can come up with your own sentence or own little, little thing that is similar to this, marketing genius, marketing superstar, whatever. But because that's in the same details and same context every single time, other videos that have that same context will show up. So as I said before, having your system set up so that when someone finishes your video, other videos of yours may show up as recommended videos because they have some of the same details in the back end. Then I have just a little blurb about my bio. Okay, I was a returned Peace Corps volunteer. I taught bio and chem, coached lacrosse, or I've coached lacrosse. I haven't done that in a while, so I probably need to update that. And I live in Central New York, raising 3 daughters. Then I have what I would highly recommend, just so that you can cover yourself, is an automated disclaimer. And if you want to copy it word for word, be my guest, or come up with something that's short, similar. This video description either has links to my own products or affiliate products. So any purchase you make from the links clicked in this video, I will earn a commission with it. Results are not typical. I'm a professional internet marketer with years of experience and cannot guarantee you will achieve the same results. The information contained in the YouTube channel or on this YouTube channel, and the resources available for download viewing through this YouTube channel, educational and informational purposes only. So obviously I'm trying to teach people how to do stuff, but I can't guarantee you're going to, do it and have the same success as I do and be able to make sales. Okay. So that is a lot of detail already. just for the description and tying in the title to this description. Okay, a next major part is the thumbnail. We're going to come back to the thumbnail in a minute because we were just talking about a little bit ago these keywords. So I want to show you how this will work. I'm going to highlight those and copy those. And then I'm going to go down, and I mentioned the playlists. So like I said, we're going to come back to the thumbnail. You don't have to use a thumbnail. You can auto-generate one. But when you look at the thumbnails, you're going to be more attracted to something that's a little more artistic and want to, like, that's going to draw you in a little better. So I'm going to go through the steps of that as well with you here. So the playlist, as I mentioned, we're going to click on the playlist that we have. So it's a LiveGood specific video. I'm also going to put it in the overall marketing and business tutorials. I'm going to click done. So it's in those two playlists. Okay, it's not for kids. Technically, it's something that's older. It's for sale. And it's also tied into my advertising. Now, you may not see some of the same things I'm showing here because I am in the, I'm advertising eligible. I can get ad credits and ad money, monetizing the video for advertising. So you may not see this in yours. That might be something that comes along in the future. So I'm going to click show more, and maybe you'll see it elsewhere. So it contains a paid promotion. No, it wasn't paid. I bought it myself. I did it. It's not like someone gave it to me and paid me to do it. I'm doing this of my own will. Any of the following describe your content. And again, a lot of this is because of the advertising. So no. All right, automatic chapters. I'm going to allow automatic chapters and key moments. So sometimes YouTube breaks the video up by itself, and it goes through with their own AI and actually categorizes it, which is a really cool feature. You will get, your own closed captions that can go on there as well. So that's really, really good. So automatic concepts, I'm going to allow that. Okay, so here we go. And depending on, like I said, what your status is, you may or may not have seen some of those other ones, but you'll get down to this point called tags. Now, I had copied that list above. All I'm going to do is press Control V, and that whole list just popped up. So the same things we just did above. LiveGood E3, we got the Energy Booster Energy Drink, E3 Energy Drink, pre-workout amino, so on and so forth. Notice I'm at 314 out of 500. That means I could go back and I could add more keywords. And I often will do this. And I may do with this later, but for the sake of the video, just keep things moving, I'm going to move on, okay? But I can get up to, another 186 more words, or it's not words, sorry, characters that would help give me the ability to attract someone because they did a search on YouTube. Okay, the language is in English, never been aired before. I am filming this, or I actually did this today. And we got the normal license. I can allow people to embed it. They'll be noticed that my subscribers will get that. Okay, publish a subscription feed and notify subscribers. Obviously, I want my subscribers to know when my video is coming out. So at this point, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you subscribe, okay? Just so you can get the future updates and learn about all my other videos. So I'm going to allow for videos and mixing, or audio remixing. Basically, I'm going to call this one's really a how-to in style, but there's different categories you can choose. If it's a comedy, comedy, education, film, animation, gaming, how-to, music, sports, people blog, so on and so forth. So I often just do how-to in style. Sometimes I do, I'm a science teacher by trade, so if I do a chemistry video, obviously I choose education. If I'm doing some other random stuff, it might be people and blogs. If it was my lacrosse stuff, it would have been sports. But I just, this is a specific how-to video. And then show how many viewers like this video. Okay, now I'm not going to go to next yet because we got to come back to that part about the thumbnail, okay? And I'm going to try to make this one go as quickly as possible. And so what we're going to use is Canva. And I use Canva a lot. It is a free software to use. Just generalize, it's free. You can upgrade and get the pro version and have more tools. Fortunately, I have mine connected to my teaching account, so I get that as well. And so we're going to do a YouTube thumbnail. I already have a bunch of thumbnails already created, and I can go back into them and edit them as desired. And so we're just going to go and let's see here. That one only has 4, so there's not as many to scroll through. So I'm going to click on this one, and we got a couple different things here. So, obviously there's one from my recent video, the partner and fundraising program for LiveGood. it's going to be a little more attractive. It has me so they can see me, they know me. It has, stuff maybe about the company. It's got some bright words, bright colors, instead of just being some random, screenshot of the members area. Okay, that might not be something that's very enticing to people. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to start a brand new one. We're going to add a page, and I'm actually going to upload a new image of myself that I just took couple hours ago when I did this video. Now at this point, it doesn't really matter the file name for the video for the image, because I'm going to title my image something later when I download it. So this is an image of me holding the same thing. I'm wearing the same outfit that I did the video in. So there again, there's a correlation and connection there. They're going to see the same thing from the image into the video and me talking about it. So I'm going to click on that, and Canva has a really cool tool here because I don't want all this other junk. So I'm going to do the BG, which is the background remover. And notice, if we take a look, I'm not sure where I copied, but notice it got rid of all the background. So there I am. So I can get rid of this, and I'm going to put this down in the corner, and I'm going to make it nice and big so that we see this E3 and I'm not off the screens. You notice I start to disappear. So I want to get as close to the corner. And what you have to remember, in this area right here where we're seeing like this wolf dragon type, Gaelic thing, that is where often, like when you're looking at a YouTube clips and you open up YouTube and you see all the videos, there's a little time in the corner. So you don't really want to have things down here if you're using Canva that's important to read, because it will often be blocked. And I'm going to go through, so you can upload. You notice I got a lot of different things that have been uploaded. I got to go down and find my LiveGood link here. Not link, but logo. So give me a minute here. There we are. So I got that, and this will stand out, and people will see that it's already in here. And then it's up to you to figure out, okay, what kind of style do you want? So if we go down over to the side and scroll to backgrounds, I can get all different size or types of backgrounds. Do I want it to look like I'm outside in in the clouds, or do I want to have it look like I'm getting ready at night and the sun is starting to set, maybe a little bit darker, or do I want to be like, am I in a field? So it's really up to you to make the decision of what you want to have it look like. Okay, am I on the top of the city? That's kind of corny because it looks like I'm just floating up there. So depending on how you go through, I have some videos. Sometimes I have the same backgrounds, and so it looks like it's all in a theme, and you see the same thing repetitive over and over again. And so I'm not really sure where that one went. If I can remember what I did. I think something similar to this. So this has a little color. It's not too overbearing, and it has some design. This would be even more intense, okay? But this one doesn't look too bad. We're going to go with this one. And again, if you want to go on Canva, you can play around, you can do your own thing. So I'm going to go into the text, and then in the text, there's all different types of text that works. And so I have something, the bottle's, black and red, the E3. Sometimes you might see something that looks similar, but again, you can find something that is a lot different as well, just to make it stand out a little bit. And so I want to just randomly pick something that, again, is going to be a little bit different, kind of pops out, and is something that, again, would be visible, that tries to attract someone to come in and grab this. So, and this doesn't necessarily have to be the same title as your video title. Again, it's something that might catch their eye. Maybe they don't see the video title, but maybe they see the title of this picture and like, oh, what is that? So again, I can go through and edit this and do this a couple different ways. I'm just going to try to find one here, just so we're not spending, an immense amount of time on the video. So I am going to scroll here just for a minute. We can play with that one for a minute. Let's see. It looks a little blurry actually when it gets smaller. So you can actually play around with this, and you can actually see what they look like. You can kind of shrink them down. Does it stand out? Does it not stand out? Does it look good? Does it not look good? So I'm going to pause this just for 1 second, and I'm going to scroll and try to find one that works, just so we're not like wasting a lot of time for me searching. So hold on tight, and we'll be right back. All right, so I found one that kind of pops out. Looks like there's some energy involved into it as well. So we got the energy booster. We got the logo there that you can play around with. You can size up, make it a little bit smaller, make it a little bit bigger, depending on how you want it to look and fit in there. And then I'm just going to do some generic, just regular text. So we got the E3 Energy Booster. I'm going to drag that down here, shrink it up a little bit. I click to change the text color. So at least now we have this in here. I'm going to move this over, kind of make it centered or a little bit more centered. So at least they know what it's called, what the name is, and you can go obviously from there. So now I have something that's a little bit more, eye enticing than just the background or the member area that we would have seen that they may be computer or automatically generating. So I'm going to share this. That means I got to save it and download it. I usually download it as a JPEG. It's usually a little bit smaller in size, and I can also then upload that when I do a blog post. Because then when I'm done with this, I usually take this same video and I put it on my blog, and I pull over a lot of the same keywords, a lot of the same descriptions and materials, or I might post the video to Facebook. And sometimes Facebook just wants an image and not the link to the video itself. So having an image that I can easily upload is going to be beneficial. JPEGs are usually a little bit smaller. So I'm going to save it as a JPEG. I do not want all of them, so I'm going to unselect because there was 5 right there together. I only want the new one I just made. We're going to click Done and Download, and you're going to see that it's scrolling, and then it will, save to your computer. So now I got to go back over to the downloads, and I mentioned I'm going to change the title. So when we look in here it just says budget approved, and I don't want that. So I want something that relates to the E3 Energy Booster or related to the title of my video. So if we come back to YouTube, title of my video is the E3 Energy drink or energy boost drink to ramp up. So I'm just going to copy that, and we're going to go back here, and we're going to call it the same thing. So the E3, make it have dashes so it kind of ties it together there. So now that title of the video and the picture and other stuff and the material itself are all tied together. So we're going to go up into the thumbnail, and we're going to upload the file, and then there it is right there, the E3 Energy Boost drink. So now we see this instead of that just generic page that we saw in the back, which again, no one really wants to look at that. There's no enticing qualities to it, but someone sees this, they're like, ooh, what's that? Let's see what he's actually showing. What the heck is it? All right. Clicking next, now we have the ability to do more stuff. And again, you may or may not see some of these next pages or part of the next few pages if you are not monetized. So I do have to go through this process, and I'll do it quickly. I want my ads on. Of course, I want to have some ad revenue. If people are watching the video, if I can get some ad revenue, why not? So that is on. I'm going to click next. I don't have any inappropriate language, nothing about drugs, blah, blah, blah. Then none of those are there. I'm going to submit the rating. I'm going to click next. And what I want to do and what I always do, and I probably could do more of this, but I only keep one thing that I really focus on, and that's going to be the end screens. Okay, I'm going to add an end screen. It's kind of like a call to action, or it gives at least it gives them other options to learn more about what we're doing here. And so I usually always add those in there. And I choose the one that has 2 videos one video, 1 playlist, and to subscribe. So when I click that, there's, it comes up, subscribe to the channel. There's a next recommended video that they could watch, and then the recommended playlist they can watch. So I'm going to click on this for the video, and then I'm going to go to choose the specific video. Now, I was just talking about the E3, so I would want to get something that is related to that. And I just did a complete unboxing of all of the products that came with the E3. Like I said, I just finished this one, or I may have said that in the other video, but I just finished this bottle or container, and I have another one that I just opened. So doctor's orders, again, vitamin D3 and K2. So I have other things that are related that could benefit me. So the first one was talking about energy. The next one's talking about, getting vitamin D3. What I want to link it to, I'm going to link it to the playlist, and I want to just keep it consistent across the board, and I'm going to go to the LiveGood playlist, because in that video, I also talked a little bit about the business opportunity that was included. So I'm going to have that link there. I'm going to click Save. And obviously, if you don't have any videos yet, you won't have the ability to do that. Once you have some videos, you can then go back and re-edit or upload videos the next time, and then you will have videos to be able to do this with. So I am good there. I'm going to click Next, and then it usually goes through and checks. I don't have any music in the background, so there should be no issue for copyright. But if I had tried to add an underlying music theme, sometimes they might get flagged because it's copywritten, or you can go through and you can add music, I believe, from YouTube in some cases. I usually just don't do that. Okay, I kind of stay away from it. So I'm going to click next, and then it is ready to go. And so I click on public. If you wanted to set a schedule or make it private and hide it, I don't know why you'd want to do that. If you're going to be private and unlisted, people aren't going to find you. So I would always make it public. And then, if you are an influencer, or if you're timing things, you could set it or schedule it. I just let it run and I click publish. Now, one of the things that I do, and this is pretty much where we're going to kind of end the video, and then I'll, kind of just cover some of the tracks again. What I usually do is I start to play it and I let it play one whole time through. So it's getting at least a view and it's being registered, and I can kind of listen to it as I'm doing some other work in the background. Now, this video is a shorter video. Notice it's only 6 minutes and 38 seconds. The minute you've been watching obviously is a lot longer. So I just want to check it. So let's go and take a look. I'm going to click it to open up in a new. If you're like me, and by the end of the day, after a long day at work, and you feel drained and you need some energy, best recommendation, get yourself some of the E3. So I'm just going to pause it for a second, and I'm going to actually reduce the volume, and then I'm just going to let it play. Energy and electrolytes from, because I don't want it to override the voice and the audio that I'm doing. Now, one of the cool things, if I click on closed captions, notice what I'm talking about actually comes up. YouTube has their own, AI and automated stuff that actually pulls up the words. So I'm ready for my workout, replenishes and gives me the things that I need in order to regenerate, rebuild stuff because of some of the essential and other amino acids that are actually present in that. Okay, so I'm just reading it right from there. Now, if we go down and we kind of look and take an overall view of what's going on here, I have noticed there is my video that I put at the side. Now, that could be, again, because of a couple different things. Maybe because some of the things that are in the description here are connected to the one over there, but that's also the one that I had recommended. So we have one of my videos there, and then we have a lot of other stuff that might just come up as random and not be anything that's related. Maybe some of the other things come up. Maybe it's about making money. I don't know. So again, we have the title, E3 Energy Boost Drink to Ramp Your Afternoon Up. Obviously, there's my details. No views yet. Okay, obviously, I just opened it, so no one's had the chance to see it. But this is what I was talking about earlier, right here. When people go to a video, they only see the first 2 lines. So it's important that you actually have a link as close to the top as possible so that someone can actually do a call to action or maybe take a look at that product. And as I said, if you go down and or if you're looking at the products on the website, all you have to add, again, let's go back to that correct one here. All you have to add at the end of any link that you get when you click on an item is question mark enroller equals your username. Okay, and that will allow you to have that go directly to a product instead of just to the general shop page where people then could be a little more confused. If they go just to the shop page, then they have all different options. So, for example, if you send them just to the shop or products, notice that if they go to products or shop, let's close this. Yeah, that just keeps to pop up to give them a little easier view. But notice either one, if they go to the shop, at least they scroll and they're seeing all the materials right away. If they had gone and clicked on the products, okay, there's a little more detail, and then you see the stuff. So if you could, instead of giving them all this stuff to look at and maybe they're confused about, pinpoint them directly to the product, then that's the important part. Like I said, if I only click on this E3, I see livegood.com/E3. I want to have my details at the end. Let's say, for example, the CBD cream right there. So livegood.com/CBD relief cream. So again, those are not the links you want. You want to take that part and then you want to add after this that question mark enroller equals and then your name. So again, if we pull that back up and we go find the CBD pain relief cream, there it is right there, CBD pain relief cream, and then question mark enroller equals and then obviously your username. So hopefully that is going to be important or beneficial to you in this point, that again, you find that, because again, some people might watch the video, they don't even see. Notice it's not even on the screen. If they don't scroll down to learn more, they don't even see what's there. So obviously it's important. And in my video, I tell people, make sure you go click below and look for this link, or make sure you also click below because you're going to find out more about the business. Make sure you look below for the link. Okay. The link below will tell you to, move forward and, be able to process or progress in the right fashion based on whatever that call to action is. So that has been a very big overview. And like I said, now it becomes sharing it. Maybe you then copy this link and you put it on Facebook. Maybe you send it in an email to your list, to your team. Share with them, whatever it is, so they can find out about the energy booster. Or maybe you talk to someone at work and you're like, okay, I got this awesome energy booster. You realize they're drinking coffee. Maybe they're getting Dunkin' Donuts and it's really expensive, and it's loaded with sugars, and they're spending $3 to $4 a day at Dunkin', Starbucks, wherever. And if they really just want the energy boost, okay, less than $1 a day. Okay, there's 30 servings, so really it's like 50 cents each, give or take. They can get the energy boost. You could send them this video directly to their email, or send it to them in text, and then they can watch it on their phone, because obviously so much can be pulled up that way. So I hope I've given you a very good thorough. Again, we're 51 minutes into this. I appreciate your patience if you've been watching. Again, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. If you have any other questions about some of the details or things that I put in here, or recommendations, you think that maybe I should have put this, or why didn't I do this, just leave them below. Leave me a comment. I look forward to seeing your success in your own videos and starting to get some traction and links and clicks with your efforts using YouTube. Again, this has been Dave Gardner, and I wish you the best of luck with this. And if you want to work with me, click those links below and lock in with the team. All right, take care.